All right, moving along with our map here. Now we've got this scenario created. We've got three rooms and a gate in between one of them. And in this video, what I'm going to do is build out the farm field a little bit. I'm going to put an object in here. This isn't the text adventure tool. Obviously, this is the Trizboard mapping tool. But what I'm going to do, put a tin can in the farm field for some reason. I don't know. And then let's put some stone fences around the farm field. Stone fences. So in Trizboard here, I'm just using this capability to add objects, just so you can see how your game is all laid out and how your objects are distributed throughout the world. So let's go to the tool right here, and let's go to the farm field object here. So let's we've got a gate that goes to the north, and if we run our game, oops, what was it? There we go. You'll notice that something interesting happens, or there's just a certain default behavior. So if I try to go east or west or north, eventually this gets a little irritating. Like, why can't I go that way? Like that's sometimes it's okay, especially if you're in a house and it says like the kitchen is to the east, and you try to go west. It's like you smack into a wall, right? That wouldn't make sense. Like sometimes you can't go that way is fine. But if you can override it with something that's a little more descriptive, that's a better way to go, right? So on the forest path here, when it says it's a north-south pass and I try to go east, maybe I could have it say the forest is too thick or something like that, and that or the cliff is too steep, or that would lead to certain death or something. What I want to do is override this generic message with a message that's going to be a little bit more descriptive, and I'm going to show you how you do that here. So let's go to the back to the tool, and here's our farm field. Let me add in. Well, let me do that first. Okay, so let's go to our east-west. No, the forest path. There we go. And you see, there's a thing here that says movement alerts. If you click on that button, here's where you can override that "you can't go that way" message. So. If I try to go east from the forest path, I could have it say the forest is too thick. There we go. And let me paste that in for west, northeast, whoops, southwest. Okay, so up or down, it'll say you can't go that way. That's fine. But north or south, I can go that way, so that's fine. So let me just leave that there. And now if I export it and build it, let's see what happens. Right, so the forest is too thick, right? Now that's a lot more descriptive than you can't go that way. So that does a good job, helping the user kind of get engrossed in your world there. So let's go to our farm field here, and let's think about why we wouldn't be able to leave the field. Maybe there's like stone fences around all the sides except north. So what I'm going to do is add another object, and I'm going to call it stone fence. And I'm going to make it a scenery object, and I'm going to put it in the farm field, and I'll say the stone fence is made from the, I don't know, made from the heaped up stones that were found when this land was cleared. When this land was cleared. I'm just making this up. There we go. And let me just say the high stone fence. Okay. And I will leave it as a scenery object, and it's in the farm field. So there we go. That should be good. And then let's go back to the farm field here and go to the movement alerts, and we'll put in a message. A stone fence blocks your way, or the stone fence is impassable, or something like that. So west, northeast, southeast, south. Okay, so we can go north. Okay, there we go. There we go. So let me save this. Now let's think about how these two things tie together. the movement alerts, and the scenery objects. If you mention something in a room description, there's a very good chance that the player will try to look at it or interact with it somehow. So if you mention that there's, you know, in your room or something, that there's an object there, the player will try to interact with it. So you want to add a scenery object so that you don't see that. So if you mention like there are tall trees all around you, and then the player types examine trees and says you don't see that, it kind of breaks that immersion into your world. It's an inconsistency that shouldn't be there. So let me put in a message here. The field is surrounded on all sides by a stone fence. The field is surrounded on all sides, on 3 sides, by a stone fence, by an overgrown stone fence. There you go. And let's export that and see how that works. Export complete. Control C is what killed the emulator there. I could have just hit the close box too. brun game.bin. Okay, so let's go south, open gate, south, stone fence. Oh, did we not save it? Did I not save it? Okay. But you can see it says a stone fence blocks your way. Stone fence blocks your way. All right, but now if I type examine fence, it says the high stone fence is made from the heaped up stones. Oh, I forgot to put in the word stones that were found here when this land was cleared, right? So as a result of me trying to move, and it mentioned the fence, you then want to add a scenery object that supports the fence being there, right? So let's go back to, I think I didn't text off of that. Let me just rebuild this here real fast. On 3 sides by an overgrown stone fence, and then let's go to the fence, and it's made from the heaped up stones that were found when the land was cleared. Okay, so now it doesn't actually accept the text until you leave that text field. So let's export our project again, kill it, run it. Okay, south, open gate, south. Okay, the field is surrounded on 3 sides by an overgrown stone fence, right? So the fact that I've described the fence as being there is going to encourage the player to try to interact with it. So if I try to say examine fence, and it says the fence, you don't see that, it's kind of like, why? You just told me it was there. Why can't I interact with it? So there you go. That's the thing. If you mention something in a room description, you probably want to, a you can't go that way message, you probably want to provide a scenery object to back up that object. So there you go. There's some scenery objects, and adding or overriding the you can't go that way messages. So just with these simple tools so far, you can make a pretty big, pretty expansive, very detailed world. So if you have any questions on how to get that going, just ask for help.